Namaskar and welcome to FYBSc students in this second lecture about the unit number second, that is ecosystem and phytogeography. In this unit we have discussed and understand the first concept, that is ecosystem. What is ecosystem? About that a funny cartoon video you have seen. Now we will discuss about the food chain, food web and ecological pyramids. So let us discuss this particular second subunit in the chapter number second or unit number second, that is ecosystem and phytogeography. Before going to discuss the topic, what the United States Senator Michael Johansson, who was the senator from 2009 to 2015, who said that food safety involves everybody in the food chain. So what is the what this particular statement says? For that purpose we have to understand the entire food chain, food web and the ecological pyramids. So let us discuss and see what this particular statement says and what is the importance of the food chain. So what is this particular food chain? The definition is: flow of energy in an ecosystem is one-way process. The sequence of organisms through which the energy flows is known as food chain. British ecologist Charles Elton recognized the existence of food chain. A series of organisms arranged in a linear manner with repeated eating and being eaten is known as food chain. So in this slide you can see the food chain, specific one of the food chain. So there are some examples of food chain occurring in the nature. The grass which is eaten by cow, and the milk of cow is drink by the man. Such like many more examples are there. Grass which is eaten by grasshopper, and grasshopper is eaten by birds, birds eaten by hawk. Then some aquatic food chains are there. Algae which are eaten by zooplanktons, zooplanktons are eaten by fishes, fishes are eaten by man. Then some algae which are eaten by insects, insects are eaten by frog, frogs are eaten by snakes, snakes are eaten by peacocks. So such type of food chains are there in the ecosystem. So important facts about the food chain. In a food chain, each organism obtains energy from the one at the level below. Plants are called producers because they create their own food through photosynthesis. Animals are called consumers because they cannot create their own food. They must eat plants or other animals to get the energy that they need. As we have discussed in the concept ecosystem, the tropical levels in food chain are as below. The first level contains the producers. In the picture, the ecological pyramid says, regarding the ecological pyramid we are discussing in the upcoming slides. So the first level contains the producers. After that the consumers, which are having again four types, that is primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, quaternary consumers, and after that the decomposers, which are the top level of the food chain. There are two main types of the food chain. First one is the grazing food chain. The consumers utilizing plants as their food constitute grazing food chain. This food chain being from green plants, and the primary consumers is herbivore. Most of the ecosystem in nature follow this type of food chain. In this particular picture you can see that first of all the example is grass, which is eaten by grasshopper, and grasshopper eaten by birds, and birds are eaten by falcon or hawk. This particular chain or food chain is seen in the entire picture. The second type, that is detritus or detritus food chain. This is quite reverse to the grazing food chain. In case of the grazing food chain, for the photosynthesis solar energy is required, while in this particular detritus food chain the solar energy is not required. That means the saprophytic organisms are less dependent on the direct solar radiant energy. This type of food chain starts from dead organic matter of decaying animals and plant bodies, to the microorganisms, and then to detritus feeding organisms, and to other predators. The food chain depends mainly on the influx of organic matter production in another system. The organisms of the food chain includes algae, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, insects, nematodes, etc. Now, what is the particular significance of this food chain? The knowledge of food chain helps in understanding the feeding relationship as well as the interaction between organism and the ecosystem. It also helps in understanding the mechanism of energy flow and circulation of matter in the ecosystem. That means how this energy transfers from the primary first level to the end level. It also helps to understand the movement of toxic substances and the problem associated with biological magnification in the ecosystem. Now, what is the food web? We have seen the chain, which is single, while now we discuss the food web. Food web can be defined as a network of food chains, which are, that means the food chains, many food chains are combinedly form the food web, which are interconnected at various trophic levels so as to form a number of feeding connections among the different organisms of a biotic community, is also known as consumers resource system. In nature, the type of food also changes with the age of the organism and the food availability. Thus, several food chains linked together and intersecting each other to form a network known as food web. This food web is nothing but an interlocking pattern of several interlinked food chains. Many food chains exist in an ecosystem, but as a matter of fact, these food chains are not independent. Food web is really a collection of food chains. It shows pattern of energy or nutrient flow throughout a community under natural conditions. In the linear arrangement of food chain, very rarely occur, and these remain interconnected with each other through different types of organisms at different trophic level. The example, in grazing food chain of grassland, in absence of rabbit, grass may also eaten by mouse. Here in this particular food web you can see grassland in the absence of rabbit, and grass may also eaten by the mouse. The mouse eaten directly by hawk, owl and snake. Thus in nature there are found alternatives which altogether constitute some sort of interlocking pattern, that is food web, which is seen in this particular picture. Now, important facts about the food web. A node represents an individual species or a group of related species or different stages of a single species. A link connects to two nodes. Arrows represents links and always go from prey to predator. The lowest trophic level are called as basal species. The highest trophic level are called top predators. Movement of nutrient is cyclic but of energy is unidirectional and non-cyclic. So these are the important facts about this food web. Types of food web representation. Topological waves. These particular topological waves, these food waves are simply indicate a feeding relationship, while the flow waves, bioenergetic waves or flow waves include information on the strength of the feeding interaction. Interaction waves, in interaction the arrows show now how this particular one group influence another. There are different types of food waves: soil food wave, aquatic food wave in the forest, in the grassland, in terrestrial as well as in the aquatic ecosystem. In case of the soil food web, here in the primary level, the plants with shoots and roots, or we can say the tuberous or rhizomatous plants, which are present in the soil, in the organic matter of soil, and in the tubers or rhizomes or the shoots or roots of the plants, are containing the mycorrhizae, fungi, bacteria, nematodes, earthworms. Then on these particular primary consumers, the secondary consumers, arthropods, nematodes, protozoans are depend. Then these are the secondary consumers. After the secondary consumers, which are consumed by the animals and birds, which are the last level of the consumer. And similarly, these particular secondary and primary consumers are interconnected or interconsumed by the animals as well as the birds. Now in case of the aquatic food web, the producers prepare the food with the help of sunlight energy, and with the help of the process of photosynthesis they prepare their food. Similarly, the phytoplanktons also can play a role of photosynthesis. On these phytoplanktons, the zooplanktons are depend. On the zooplanktons, other animals or molluscan species are depend. Then on these zooplanktons, phytoplanktons, animals or the aquatic animals, other animals on the sea ice, or we can say quite near to the aquatic ecosystem, the animals which are depend on these particular primary consumers, secondary consumers, there is interconnection between these particular primary, secondary consumers and the organic deposits which are sedimented after the death of these consumers is deposited into the aquatic environment, and this particular deposition is again useful for the resuspension of the nutrients which are used by the producers for their growth and development. In case of the food web in the forest, we can see that here you can see that the green plants are the producers on which the mouse, rabbit, goat are depend. These are the primary consumers, while these primary consumers are consumed by owl, wildcat, jackal, snakes. These are having the interconnection. So for example, wildcat can eat the mouse also, while and rabbit also, while the owl can eat the mouse also as well as the rabbit also. In case of the jackal, who can eat the goat as well as the rabbit, and finally at the top the consumers are lion and kite. So this is the food web, and this particular food web having the interconnections. In case of the grassland food web, you can see the grasses which are eaten by the mouse as well as by the grasshopper. The grasshopper is eaten by lizard as well as the hawk, which is the top consumer, and the grass which is eaten by rabbit, and rabbit is eaten by hawk, while the mouse also eaten by hawk as well as the snake. So these are the interconnections which create the grassland food web. Now the food web in the both the environments, in the terrestrial as well as in the aquatic ecosystem. In case of the both the terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem, the producers which are contains the terrestrial and salt marsh plants, that marshy habitat which is combinedly terrestrial as well as the aquatic, while the aquatic plants and algae which are comes in the producers, these are consumed by the primary consumers or herbivores like insects, fishes and snails. Then the secondary consumers are the rat, frog, fish. There are interconnections in between these. For example, the insects, the primary consumers insects can be eaten by rat as well as the frog, while the small fishes which are eaten by frog as well as the big fishes. Similarly, the snail also eaten by big fishes, as well as the duck, the tertiary consumers, that is duck, sparrow. Similarly, now the tertiary consumers are snake, crane, duck, sparrow. These can eat the big fishes, frogs, rats as well as the primary consumers, and finally the tertiary consumers are consumed by the quaternary and or the top level consumers, that is hawk, who can eat the snake as well as the crane, the duck, the sparrow. So this is the terrestrial as well as the aquatic ecosystem, or the food web in the terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem combinedly. Now the significance of this particular food web distinguishes levels of producers and consumers by identifying and defining the importance of animals' relationship and food sources, beginning with primary producers such as plants, insects and herbivores. Food webs are very important tools in understanding that plants are the foundation of all ecosystems and food chains, sustaining life by providing nourishment and oxygen needed for survival and reproduction. The food webs provide stability to the entire ecosystem. Now, what are the ecological pyramids? Ecological pyramids are graphical representations of a trophic structure of the entire ecosystem. Trophic levels are the feeding positions in a food chain, such as primary producers, herbivores, primary carnivores, etc. In this picture or in this pyramid, you can see the producers at the first level. These are the producers like grasses which are eaten by the herbivores, or the herbivores are called the primary consumers who contain the grasshopper, rat, rabbit, which are eaten by the primary carnivores or secondary consumers which contains the snake and different primary carnivores which are eaten by the secondary carnivores or tertiary consumers which contains owl or hawk. Now there are different types of the ecological pyramids. Three types of ecological pyramids can usually be distinguished, namely pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, pyramid of productivity. Now, in case of the pyramid of number, it is the graphic representation of number of individuals per unit area of various trophic level. Large number of producers tend to form the base, while the low number of top carnivores occupy at the tip. Here in this particular diagram, three-dimensional diagram of pyramid of number, you can see that the producers, in case of the primary level or base level of the pyramid, you can see the number of plants in the primary level are very large, and this particular number goes on decreasing from the base to the top. In case of the primary level, plants are more large in number, as compared to that in the secondary level, mice, which are primary consumer, are less than the plants. Similarly, the primary consumers having the larger number as compared to the secondary consumers, that is snakes, are less in number as compared to the mice. And finally the tertiary consumers, which are very less in number or lower number, that is top carnivorous, which are at the tertiary consumer level or final level, that is hawk, which is obviously very low in number as compared to the snakes. So this is the pyramid of numbers. Now, in case of the pyramid of numbers, there are again two different types, that is inverted and spindle shaped. In case of inverted pyramid of numbers, a single tree, entire tree from the roots to the tip region, or you can see the entire aerial parts contains the which is singly considered as the producer, which is one in number, which contains the birds on its twigs, branches, which are the herbivorous, and again which are, as compared to the single tree, there are large in number. And similarly, the parasites, which are depending on the entire tree, are many insects are there, which are parasites. Many underground animals are there, or microorganisms are there, which are parasite on this single tree, which are obviously, as compared to the herbivorous, they are, or the primary consumers, they are large in number. In case of the this is the inverted pyramid. And finally, the hyperparasites, which are depending on the single tree, again on the producer, the hyperparasites are very large in number as compared to the parasites. So this is the inverted pyramid. Similarly, the spindle shaped pyramid. In case of this particular spindle shaped, the lower or the primary level contains the single number of producer, that is single tree on which these herbivorous are depend, and on these herbivorous the carnivorous is depend. And similar why this is spindle, you can see this particular number, the single tree is there and single carnivorous is there, and in between these herbivorous are large in number. So this creates the spindle shape. Now, evaluating this particular pyramid of number, there are some advantages as well as the disadvantages. Simple method of giving an overview. This is the advantage of pyramid of number. Then the second advantage is good for comparing changes to the ecosystem at different times. While the disadvantages of this pyramid of number is number of specific species may be too great to measure accurately. While the second disadvantage is does not take into account juvenile or immature forms. All the organisms are included regardless of their size. So these are the advantages as well as the disadvantages of this pyramid of number. On the basis of the mass, weight or biomass, the pyramid of biomass is the graphical representation of biomass present per unit area at different trophic levels, with producers at the base and carnivorous at the top. Biomass is calculated by following formula, that is mass of each individual multiplied by number of individuals at the trophic level. Here in this particular picture or three-dimensional pyramid of biomass, we can see the upright pyramid of biomass in a terrestrial ecosystem, while the inverted pyramid in the aquatic ecosystem. In case of the upright pyramid, the producers, that is plants, having the biomass 1000 kg, while the herbivorous having the biomass 100 kg, while the primary carnivore having the biomass 10 kg, and the obviously it goes on decreasing as in the upright pyramid. While in case of the inverted pyramid, as we have discussed in the pyramid of numbers, the inverted pyramid of biomass contains the producers which are having very low weight or low biomass, then the herbivores having the biomass which is larger than the producers, and the carnivorous having the biomass which is larger than the herbivores. So this is the pyramid of biomass. Now evaluating this particular pyramid of biomass, there are also the advantages as well as the disadvantages. So advantage is overcome the problem of pyramid of number. So this is one of the advantage as compared to the pyramid of number. Then disadvantages are only uses samples for population, so difficult to measure biomass exactly. Time of your influence result. Organisms of same size do not necessarily have the same energy content. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of pyramid of biomass. Now the last pyramid, that is pyramid of productivity, is always upright because in this time factor is taken into account. Pyramid of this productivity or energy, we can say the another name for the pyramid of energy is represents the total quantity of energy which is utilized by organism in different trophic levels, usually per square meter per year per unit area in unit time. The maximum energy which is available at producer level, which decreases at each trophic level and finally reaches to minimum at secondary and tertiary consumer level. In case of the grassland ecosystem, grasses are the producers and make it available to consumer. This energy flows decreases through each trophic level and finally reaches in relatively minimum amount of tertiary consumer level. So in case of the productivity, the energy is at the below the primary level or from the direct sunlight is 1 million joule, which is goes on decreasing. In case of the primary producers, it is 10,000 joule. In case of the primary consumers, it is 1000 joule. In case of the secondary consumers, it is 100 joules, while in case of the tertiary consumers, it is 10 joule. So this is the pyramid of productivity. Now in case of the evaluation of the pyramid of productivity, there are also the advantages as well as disadvantages. Advantages: no inverted pyramids are obtained in case of this pyramid of productivity. Show actual energy transfer. This is the another advantage of the pyramid of productivity. and can be compared different ecosystems based on relative energy transfer. Disadvantages are it is difficult to cumbersome to collect energy data, and problems are occur in assigning a species to specific trophic level. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of this pyramid of productivity. This depicts not only the amount of total energy utilized by the organism at each trophic level of food chain, but more important, the actual role of various organisms in transfer of energy. This is all about the food chain, food web and ecological pyramids. So thank you.